Thank you for joining a Read Aloud story. This story is highlighted in January of the 2019 Saltillo Calendar. Target words for this story are sleep, big, tired, could, hear, and bear. These words, along with a couple others, will pop up with the symbol found in Word Power vocabulary. Demonstrate the word and location for the AAC learner on their technology. Select one target, all the targets, or other words in this story that will be meaningful for the person. Sleep, Big Bear, Sleep by Maureen Wright, illustrated by Will Hillenbrand. It's time for Big Bear to hibernate, so Old Man Winter keeps telling him, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear doesn't hear very well. He thinks Old Man Winter has told him to drive a jeep, to sweep, and to leap. Big Bear just can't seem to understand what Old Man Winter tells him. Finally, Old Man Winter finds a noisy way to get Big Bear's attention. Sleep, Big Bear, sleep. Old Man Winter from a storm cloud spied his big bear friend in the countryside. He leaned to the earth and softly sighed, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard, as twilight fell, "Drive a jeep, Big Bear, drive a jeep." So Big Bear yawned as he drove around in a jeep on a road just south of town. But after a while, he stopped in a park. An old man whispered as it grew dark, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as dry leaves fell, "Sweep, Big Bear, sweep." So Big Bear went to a house down the street and swept each room so nice and neat. But after a while he yawned again. And Old Man Winter warned his friend, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as shadows fell, "Leap, Big Bear, leap." So Big Bear found a frog he knew and played leapfrog while the cold wind blew, till all at once he fell to the ground. The wind through the trees was the only sound, and Old Man Winter said with a frown, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as darkness fell, "Dive deep, Big Bear, dive deep." So Big Bear padded to a clear blue lake, finding it hard to stay awake. He dove in deep and swam to the shore. He had never been so very tired before. His head dropped down, and he let out a snore. And Old Man Winter said once more, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as snowflakes fell, "Climb a mountain steep, Big Bear, steep." So Big Bear trudged to the mountain top where the cold wind blew and the temperature dropped. He sat on a stump on the highest spot and wished for a blanket and a fold-up cot. Then he stumbled back down with his eyes half shut, so tired he didn't know which end was up. Old Man yelled while shaking his head, "Hey there, Bear! Did you hear what I said? It's winter time. Now go to bed." Big Bear's eyes were droopy and red. "You could have told me before," he said. He lumbered nearby to his cozy den, rubbed his eyes, and yawned again. He put on his PJs and blew out the light, and fluffing his pillow, he said, "Good night." The end.